after 6 months of not really knowing and not understanding really what happened, it kind of comes as a little bit of relief to get some kind of answers. Um, which it's very appalling that adults would give children alcohol and just kind of unsupervised. It's very devastating. It's a mother's worst nightmare. Um, we hope that the process continues to play out with the justice system and that justice is served for Layne and Jaden. It's just a little bit of relief.
We just don't want this to happen to another child.
Do you think these charges at least push the direction of preventing that?
We hope so.
Yeah.
We hope that because there's been known parties to be up there at that residence with underage children. We did not know our child was up there. So maybe this has shut it all down and it doesn't happen to another kid, someone else's child.
Did y'all expect more charges? I mean, in terms of responsibility and who bears responsibility in this situation, do you think anybody else should be charged at this point? Should there be even more charges for this individual who's already been charged? I mean, in terms of responsibility in all of this.
She wasn't the only adult that provided alcohol to them children. She's one of a few. And I think with the investigation and investigators, I mean, they have to get a certain amount of evidence to be able to charge anyone else. So they're working. I mean, the State Bureau Mr. Miller has really helped and done amazing work in trying to get this to move forward. I'm sure there's still going to be, we're in a process. In the process, for the past 6 months, we've just been kind of, we've been devastated. So it helps us a little bit, but the real, I don't know how to say
Two that are most responsible are not, they're getting off lightly.
Oh, yeah.
The other two that were charged, it was their house and they weren't charged those two weren't, but that house had been known for underage drinking. So many teens have come forward and talked about the parties and things going on up there. We had no knowledge that our son was even up there. We kind of knew a little bit that there was alcohol and things going on up there. And we had stopped our son from really traveling up that way. I don't even know.
The man that owned this residence called me when Layne was 15 and asked me if he could give him alcohol.
No
And
kidding.
I said, absolutely not. And we went and picked him up that night.
We wouldn't allow him to go back.
So ever since that point, so from the point that Layne was 15 until the accident, he wasn't allowed to go back there.
He wasn't.
That doesn't mean he didn't go, but yeah, go ahead.
Was giving him a little bit of leeway because
Yeah.
you have to with a teenager or they'll turn against you.
Yeah, yeah.
We were trying to be trusting.
I didn't want to put him in harm's way. I didn't think I was doing that.
Did y'all know that night? I forgot. You might have already said this. Did y'all know that night if he where he was, or not that night, that whole basically that entire time from the time he got to that location? Did y'all know where he was?
No.
No, we didn't know. We have live 360 on Layne, and his 360 went off. I guess it was about 2 p.m. that day. His phone went down at about 2 p.m. that day, and we weren't able to get back in contact with him. He was supposed to be fishing and camping. So we had no idea he was even up there. We didn't even know we didn't know anything. We thought he was fishing and camping. We were trying to reward him because he had played the football game the night before and he played an amazing game. So when he came home that night, he was having leg cramps and stuff, and I was trying to massage those leg cramps out of him because he played such an amazing football game that night.
16 tackles.
Wow.
The next day, we were going to South Carolina to get him some school supplies because school was fixing to officially start. So we went there, and then his phone went off as we were on our way down there, and we just thought, well, we'll get back up with him when we get back. And when we got back, we still didn't hear from him. Was like, well, maybe they're just camping and everything's okay. And then we got a call about 1 o'clock in the morning from Trisha and Brandon saying that there was an accident and that somebody was really hurt. So we just jumped in the truck and flew up there as fast as we could. And it was too late. It's too late.
Tell me briefly, guys, a little bit about Layne. I mean, obviously there's tons of stories, to talk about his life, the kind of person he was for people who never met him.
It was beautiful in every way.
He brightened up the room space. There's lots of people contested to that.
Yeah.
He was a genius, but he didn't want anybody to know it.
He was a super smart kid.
He could say his ABCs backwards before he started kindergarten. He was in the chess club when he was in first grade.
He didn't have any enemies. He was a friend to everybody. He believed in God. He had some quotes on his phone.
Prayer on his front.
Prayers.
And
he was sweet to his nieces. I mean, he was sweet to his nephews. I mean, he would wrestle around with them. He would climb in the prince's tent and hang out with, his niece. Just to,
Vibrant.
to be with her.
And it sounds like he was loved by so many too. I mean,
so many.
His community, yeah.
So
Not
many.
even just the school, the whole community, it sounds like.
And I've had people come to me that I don't even reason sweet things that Layne, Layne, he helped me get my groceries out of my car, or, Layne, I was at Jarrett's one day trying to air up something and he helped me out. And I've heard so many different stories of sweet things. So that makes me proud.
Yeah.
And Jaden was the same.
And Jaden was the same way. He was the same kind of kid.
Yeah.
They would light up a room and they were just awesome. You just wanted to be around them. I mean, he was like, I wanted to hang out with him as much as I could, even though I'm a mom and, you don't want to hang out with your mom. But when we were together, we had a great time together.
Well, he's 6'2", 280 pounds, and he'd play with between me and Samantha, and we'd tickle and fight and wrestle.
We love him very much.